Christmas morning in my house always came with a kind of sacred quiet. Not the lonely kind, no. It was the peaceful kind, the kind that wraps around you like a soft blanket. My wife, Lily, had loved Christmas more than any other day of the year. She used to wake up before dawn just to turn on the tree lights, claiming that the angels like company before the sun is up. After she passed 5 years ago, the house became painfully silent, but I still lit the tree before sunrise. It made me feel close to her. This year I had company. My son Mark and his wife Tara ***. They were running a bit late as usual, but when they finally arrived, I welcomed them with open arms. I always did. Mark hugged me tightly, smelling faintly of cologne and winter air. Tara gave me a light, practiced smile, the kind that barely touched her eyes. "Your house looks traditional," she remarked, scanning the old garlands I kept from Lily's collection. "It looks beautiful, Dad," Mark corrected gently. I appreciated that. For a few hours, everything was calm. We ate cinnamon rolls the way Lily taught me. Warm, dripping with icing, too sweet, but too nostalgic to change. Tara barely touched hers, complaining about carbs under her breath, but I let it slide. I'd learned over the years that Tara didn't like much about things that weren't new, expensive, or Instagram worthy. After brunch, we settled in the living room for presents. The fire crackled, the tree glowed faintly behind us, and snow drifted across the windows like a scene from a Christmas movie. For a brief moment, my heart felt full. Then everything changed. Mark got down on the floor, reaching under the coffee table for the last gift bag. When he pulled out an envelope he didn't recognize. "Dad, this yours?" he asked. My stomach dropped like a stone sinking into deep water. I knew exactly what that envelope was. The incomplete estate paperwork about the $15 million my sister left me. I had tucked it there earlier in the week when I was sorting documents, never imagining someone else would find it. Before I could speak, Mark opened it. His breath caught. "Dad, this can't be real." Tara's head snapped toward him so fast I thought she might sprain something. "What's not real?" she demanded, snatching the top page before Mark could stop her. And there it was, the number that shattered Christmas. $15 047 000. Tara's jaw actually dropped. The room, once warm and glowing, now felt like someone had opened a window to the Arctic. I cleared my throat. "It was my sister Margaret's. She passed this year. I didn't want to make it a big family discussion yet." Tara slowly lowered the papers, her eyes wide, glassy, calculating. $15 million, she repeated almost reverently. Then, in a tone disturbingly calm, she added, "Well, I assume you're giving it to us." It felt like the floor tipped sideways. "To you I asked. Her expression hardened, as if she were annoyed I even questioned it. "Well, yes," she said, folding her arms. "I mean, what would you do with it? You're retired, alone, you don't travel or buy anything nice. Mark and I could put it to real use. We're young, starting a future. We deserve it more. Deserve." The word tasted bitter. I looked at Mark, expecting, even hoping for him to intervene, but he didn't. He stared at the carpet, silent, caught between discomfort and temptation. "Tara," I said quietly, "that money is not yours, and it's not Mark's either." She blinked at me like I had spoken nonsense, but it should be. She insisted. "We're the next generation. We're the ones who need financial support. You should be grateful we're willing to include you in our lives at all." My breath caught in my chest. "Grateful she wasn't finished. You live in this little outdated house, wearing sweaters from the 90s. She scoffed. "Meanwhile, we're trying to raise a family, and we can't even afford the house we want. Don't you think it makes more sense for the money to go to people who can actually use it?" My hands tightened on my knees. "This conversation is inappropriate," I said firmly, "and deeply disrespectful." "Oh, please," Tara snapped. "Stop pretending you're some saint. Your wife is dead. She doesn't need that money. But we do." That one sentence it didn't just cut. It detonated something inside me. Tara. Mark finally snapped, but it was too late. I stood. You're talking about my wife, the woman who raised my son, the woman whose Christmas traditions you are enjoying in my home. Tara rolled her eyes. She's gone. It's time to think about the living. My voice shook, not from fear, but from the pressure of holding back everything I wanted to say. That inheritance, I said slowly, was Margaret's final gift to me. I have plans for it, plans that honor my family, not fund your lifestyle. The rage that flashed across Tara's face was almost feral. You selfish old man, she hissed. You're hoarding money you don't even need. Mark touched her arm. Tara, stop. No, she barked. He needs to hear this. He's too stubborn to admit he's too old to manage that much money. We should be taking care of him anyway. My voice turned to ice. I didn't realize you saw taking care of family as a transaction. Her lips curled. Everything is a transaction. That's how the world works. I stared at her, then at my son, who looked lost, small, ashamed. The living room, once filled with warmth and memories, now echoed with betrayal. I walked to the door and opened it. I think Christmas is over. I said quietly, please leave. Tara muttered something under her breath. Mark hesitated, his eyes pleading for something, understanding, forgiveness, maybe a way out of the mess his wife created. But I couldn't give him anything in that moment. They left, and as the door clicked shut, the silence felt colder than any winter I'd ever known. For the first time in many years, the Christmas tree didn't look like a symbol of hope. It looked like a reminder that even on the gentlest of holidays, a heart can break. The days following Christmas felt strangely hollow, not the quiet of peace, but the quiet of a wound that hasn't begun to heal. Every room in my house felt heavier. Lily's pictures on the wall, the decorations she once arranged with so much care, even the worn slippers she bought me years ago. Everything reminded me of the life we built, and the family that seemed to be slipping from my grasp. I thought Mark would call to apologize, explain, undo the damage. He didn't. 4 days passed before the phone finally rang. His name glowed on the screen, and for the first time in my life, seeing it filled me with dread instead of joy. I answered, hello, Dad, hey, can we talk? His voice was strained, uncertain. I inhaled slowly, of course. He hesitated before continuing. About the money, my jaw tightened. What about it? Tara and I, well, we think you should reconsider giving us a portion. I closed my eyes, frustration pulsing behind them. Mark, the answer is no. It is not your money. There was silence on the other end, a heavy silence, like he was preparing to drop something. Tara said you'd react that way, he muttered. A chill ran up my spine. Meaning what? He sighed deeply. She thinks you're not thinking clearly. That maybe you're overwhelmed. That maybe you need help managing your affairs. My heartbeat thudded painfully. Help, I repeated. Help from whom? Us. He said weakly. Or a professional if needed. Then, in a whisper so soft it felt like betrayal wrapped in cotton. Dad, she thinks you may need a financial guardian. The room spun. A guardian? I echoed, barely breathing. Mark, I'm perfectly capable of handling my own life. I know, but no. I snapped, louder than I intended. You don't know. If you did, you wouldn't be entertaining such an insulting idea. He sighed again, long, defeated, conflicted. Dad, $15 million is a lot. Tara's just worried you'll mismanage it. I almost laughed at the absurdity. I've been managing my finances since before you were born. But Mark wasn't listening, not truly. He was caught in Tara's net, wrapped tight in her nagging, her ambitions, her hunger for a life she hadn't earned. She just wants what's best for the family, he argued. What she wants is control. I shot back, and she's using you as the key to the lock. Mark didn't respond. Instead, he said something that fractured what remained of my trust. Dad, maybe she's right about one thing. You're holding on to money you don't need. What's the point of having it if you're just going to sit alone in that house? A trembling breath escaped me. Mark, that money was your aunt's final gift. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't meant for strangers, manipulators, or opportunists. It was meant to honor her memory, or to help us build a future. He whispered. There it was, the truth. Mark, I said slowly, are you considering legal action against your own father? He didn't answer. Silence, long, heavy, suffocating. Son, I said, voice breaking, please tell me you're not thinking about this. And then, barely audible, I just don't know. The call ended shortly after. Not with a resolution, not with an apology, but with a gap between us so wide I wasn't sure we'd ever bridge it. Asterisk asterisk, the discovery asterisk asterisk the next day. Something told me to check my email search through old messages, follow my instincts. Maybe it was worry, maybe fear, maybe the need to know if my own blood saw me as nothing more than a bank account. When I opened my laptop and sifted through the last month of correspondence, my heart sank. I found an email chain between Tara and a real estate agent titled asterisk, a proposal after we secure funds. Asterisk, another with a lawyer subject line, asterisk, a power of, attorney options for elder family members, asterisk, another with Mark CC'd asterisk, assisted living facilities near Dad's neighborhood. Asterisk, they weren't joking, they weren't bluffing. They had been planning this, planning to push me into a facility, take control of my estate, liquidate my assets, and use the money to buy a 7-bedroom house in a gated community. My chest tightened as I scrolled, each message cutting deeper. Asterisk asterisk. He's too sentimental to make smart financial decisions. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Once we get control, we'll never have to worry again. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Mark, you need to be firm, he'll resist. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The old house is probably worth something too. We can sell it. Asterisk, that last one made my vision blur. They wanted to sell the home Lily and I built together, the home where Mark grew up, the home filled with memories, laughter, love. They wanted to erase it all for a mansion and luxury cars. It was betrayal in its purest form. Asterisk asterisk, the resolve asterisk asterisk. I closed my laptop slowly, hands trembling. For a long time, I simply sat there, letting the betrayal settle into my bones. Not the sharp pain of shock. This was deeper, duller, a kind of ache that radiates. My own son, my only child. I had raised him to be good, to be kind, to be grateful, and yet he had allowed a woman's greed to warp him into something unrecognizable. But grief slowly hardened into something else, something that tasted like steel, resolve. If they wanted a battle for my dignity, my freedom, my legacy, they would get one. Not out of revenge, but out of necessity, to protect what mattered, to protect Lily's memory, to protect the family values they were so willing to trample. The next morning, I called my lawyer, and for the first time in weeks, I felt in control again. The lawyer's office smelled faintly of oak and leather, comforting, steady scents that anchored me as I explained everything. My attorney, asterisk asterisk, Mr. Harris asterisk asterisk, listened without interrupting, his gray eyebrows slowly knitting together as I shared Tara's demands, Mark's hesitations, and the email chains that felt like knives. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. Well, Daniel, he said calmly, you have two things they didn't count on. I blinked. What's that? He smiled faintly. Your clarity and your strength. For the first time since Christmas, I felt something warm spread through my chest validation. What do you want to do? He asked. I exhaled slowly. I want to protect my legacy, and I want to make sure that only those who treat me with respect and love ever touch a cent of that inheritance. Reasonable, he said, nodding, and just like that, the plan began. Asterisk asterisk, the legal fortress asterisk asterisk over the next week. We worked quietly, strategically, thoroughly, every asset I had from the house. To investments, to the inheritance was locked behind trusts. each one tightly structured to prevent misuse, manipulation, or forced control. I transferred large portions into a *** charitable foundation ** in Lily's name, something I knew she would have loved. I also created a trust for my niece ** Emily ***, whose kindness over the years had never wavered. I even included a provision for any future grandchildren, money that would one day help them chase dreams far away from greed or manipulation. But perhaps the most important thing I did was this. I rewrote my will, to include a clause I called * the character clause. It stated that anyone wishing to be considered for future inheritance would have to demonstrate genuine compassion, consistent respect, and no history of manipulation or coercion toward me. In other words, kindness was the key. And Tara, she had already slammed the door shut herself. When we were done, Mr. Harris closed the final folder with a decisive snap. "You've protected everything," he said. "No one, not even your son, can touch what you've built unless you allow it." A small, bittersweet relief washed over me. They would never see this coming. ###, the invitation ***, by New Year's Eve, the paperwork was complete, the decisions were final, and my heart, though bruised, felt stronger than it had in weeks. I decided to invite Mark and Tara over, not out of malice, not out of pettiness, but because I deserved the dignity of saying everything * to their faces *. When they arrived, Tara strutted in first, wearing an expensive coat she definitely couldn't afford. Mark followed behind her, quieter than usual, shoulders slumped. "Sit down," I said calmly. "We need to talk." Tara smirked, as if she had already won. ###***. Reveal ***. I placed the thick folder of new legal documents on the coffee table. "What's this?" Tara asked, reaching for it like a vulture for carrion. "My updated estate plan." I said, "I thought you deserved to know where things now stand." She grinned, eyes sparkling with greed. Mark looked hopeful, nervous, but hopeful, but their smiles didn't last long. I slid the first page toward them. "As of this week," I said evenly, "the majority of my assets, including the inheritance, have been transferred to the Lily Ann Foundation." Tara froze. "What?" She whispered, "To charity." I clarified, "Where your greed can't reach it." Her face contorted. "You're joking." "I am not." She flipped through the pages, hands trembling. "Emily gets money." "A charity gets money. Future grandkids get money." Her voice rose with each word. I nodded. "Yes. And what about ***us***?" She shrieked. I looked at her, completely calm. "You get nothing." She shot up from the couch. "Nothing." "Nothing? How dare you?" I leaned forward. "How dare you, Tara? How dare you insult my wife's memory? How dare you plot to force me into assisted living? How dare you scheme to sell my home? How dare you treat me like a wallet instead of a human being?" Mark's head snapped toward her. "You did ***. What ***? That was my moment. I reached for the printed emails and placed them on the table. "Tara, these are your messages planning how to take control of my finances, how to push me into care, how to use my home as a down payment for another property." Her face drained of color. Mark's eyes filled with shock, betrayal, anger. Not at me, but at her. "Tara, please tell me these are fake," he whispered. Voice breaking, she stammered, I was just talking." "You know me, I exaggerate. You called my father a walking ATM." Mark spat. She went silent. I turned to my son, not with anger, but with sorrow. "Mark," I said gently, "I love you." "But you sided with her. You doubted me. You entertained taking legal action against your own father." His face crumpled. "Dad, I didn't know. I wasn't strong. I'm sorry." I placed a hand on his shoulder. "Son, I forgive you, but trust takes time to rebuild." Tara, however, was not ready to surrender. "You can't do this," she screamed. "You can't take away *** our ** future." I stood tall. "It was never yours." Her eyes blazed with fury. "You selfish old man. Keep your stupid money." She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the wreath fell off. Mark remained seated, eyes red, hands shaking. "Dad," he whispered, "I'm so sorry." And in that moment, I realized something. My sweet revenge wasn't the money. It wasn't the clauses or the legal walls. It was the truth, the ugly, undeniable truth laid bare for everyone to see. Tara lost everything she schemed for. Mark saw the reality he had been blind to, and I reclaimed my dignity, my legacy, and my peace. Here is Chapter 4, Healing, Justice, and a New Beginning expanded into a deep, emotional final chapter. Tilde 5000 plus characters. If you want an extended epilogue or want to continue the story into another arc, Tara returns, Mark's redemption, or a future Christmas, just tell me. Chapter 4. Healing, Justice, and a New Beginning After Tara slammed the door and vanished into the winter night, a heavy stillness filled the house. Not the suffocating kind I'd felt after Christmas. This one was different. It was the silence that follows a great storm, where the air still crackles with electricity but the clouds have finally parted. Mark sat on the couch, shoulders hunched, staring at the floor, as if the answers to everything were buried in the carpet fibers. "Dad," he said finally, voice trembling, "I didn't know she was planning all of that." I swear I didn't. I sat beside him, not close, but close enough that he didn't feel alone. "I know you didn't," I said quietly, "but you saw signs. You knew how she spoke to me. You saw how she treated others, and you chose not to see clearly." He wiped his face with the sleeve of his jacket. "I thought, I don't know. I thought I could fix her, or that she'd change if I kept loving her. I didn't realize how much she was changing me. That confession, it hurt more than I expected. People like Tara don't change because someone loves them," I said gently. "They change when they lose everything they tried to control." Mark nodded slowly, tears gathering in his eyes. "I'm so sorry, Dad. I failed you." "I failed Mom, too." I put a hand on his shoulder. "Your mother always believed in second chances," I said, "but she also believed love without boundaries is an empty well." He swallowed hard, then leaned into me, my grown son, taller than me, broader than me, yet small and hurting in a way I hadn't seen since he was a child. We sat there for a long time, letting the truth settle between us, not as a weapon, but as a bridge. Tara's downfall over the next few weeks. Things unfolded exactly as I expected, silently, steadily, inevitably. Tara tried to contact Mark first, demanding he fix this, claiming I had manipulated him, insisting she was the real victim. But the truth had already cracked open, and Mark wasn't blind anymore. When he didn't comply, she changed tactics, begging, flattering, apologizing with the same sweetness she had once used to wrap him around her finger. But this time, Mark saw straight through her. They separated within a month. By March, she filed for divorce, and just like that, the woman who had demanded $15 million walked away with none of it. I didn't take pleasure in her misfortune, but I did take peace in knowing that justice, quiet, steady, inevitable, had taken its course. Rebuilding the father. Son bond Mark came over more frequently after the separation. Sometimes he helped with repairs. Sometimes we talked. Sometimes we simply sat quietly, sharing space, letting the wounds between us breathe and heal. One evening in late spring, he said something that surprised me. "Dad, I've been thinking a lot about Mom lately." I looked up from my cup of tea. "About what?" "About who she raised me to be." "And who I became for a while," he sighed. "I lost myself with Tara. I lost my moral compass. But I want to find it again." My heart swelled not with pride, but with the warmth of a door reopening. "You will," I said. "You're already on your way." Mark's recovery wasn't linear. Some days he was angry, some days he was ashamed, and some days he simply needed to sit in the quiet and let the weight of everything sink in. But slowly, steadily, he returned to the son I remembered, the one with kindness in his bones and loyalty in his heart. A new life takes shape in late summer. Mark met someone new, a gentlewoman named Rachel warm, mild and soft-spoken, who worked as a kindergarten teacher. She had none of Tara's hardness, none of her hunger for status or wealth. She cared about simple things: family, laughter, community. I watched Mark with her, cautious but hopeful, and for the first time in a long while, I believed he might find real happiness. 2 months later, Rachel and Mark announced they were expecting. I remember the moment like a snapshot of pure light, Mark holding Rachel's hand, nervous and excited, her smile glowing with the quiet joy of someone who had never once cared about money, only love. "Dad," Mark said, voice shaking, "we want to name her Lily." I felt tears prick at my eyes. "Oh," I breathed, "your mother would be honored." Rachel hugged me gently. "We want her to grow up surrounded by the kind of love your family stands for." And just like that, a wound that had once felt fatal began to heal. *******, a gift for the future****, when baby Lily was born. A tiny, soft, pink-cheeked miracle. I held her in my arms and felt every broken piece of my heart shift into place. Her tiny fingers curled around mine with absolute trust, and in that moment I knew exactly what I wanted to do. A week after her birth, I visited Mr. Harris again. We created a trust fund, not lavish, not enormous, but enough to ensure she could pursue any dream she desired, untouched by greed or manipulation. A future gift, quiet, private, waiting for the day she would step into adulthood with hope in her eyes and no shadow of Tara's legacy behind her. I didn't tell Mark. I didn't need to. Some gifts are meant to be revealed when the world is ready. *****. 1 year later, a new Christmas ****. The next Christmas felt different from the moment I woke up. The tree lights shimmered softly, the cinnamon rolls baked just the way Lily liked them, and the house, my home, felt alive again. Mark arrived early, carrying baby Lily bundled in a red fleece blanket. Rachel followed, smiling warmly, her eyes shining with gratitude and a quiet strength I admired. We exchanged simple gifts, laughed easily, and let the glow of the holiday fill the spaces that had once felt haunted. At one point, I held baby Lily up toward the silver angel ornament, Lily's angel, and whispered, "You have no idea how much love is waiting for you." The baby giggled, reaching toward the lights, and I swear I felt something like a gentle embrace from the woman I lost. When we sat down for dinner, Mark cleared his throat. "Dad," he said, "thank you for giving me another chance. For not giving up on me, for being stronger than I deserved." I placed my hand over his. "That's what family does." I said, "We fall. We break. We rebuild." And for the first time in many years, the house felt complete again, patched, stitched, and mended with truth and forgiveness. The betrayal that threatened to shatter us had instead carved out space for honesty, strength, and renewal. Greed had lost, love had won, and as snow softly dusted the windows, I finally understood. The real inheritance we leave behind isn't money, it's the legacy of who we are, and who we help others become.